Hey sports fans, welcome back to another edition of Hodge and Podge. We're coming to you live from Vienna, Virginia, and we're going to put this out.
We're doing the perfect 10 this week.
That's right. We're doing the perfect 10. You know how that goes. 10 topics, 1 minute each.
Boom, boom, boom.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, obviously first topic, big weekend, NCAA championship game. What's your take?
I was really disappointed in the game. It was all this big build-up. I mean, you had Butler, you had UConn. The game was horrible. And it was just, I felt bad because it was a great tournament. I was really engrossed in the whole thing, but just really bad play. I mean, Butler couldn't throw it in the ocean.
I don't know. Say. You know, I had a couple opinions on this, and one was like, you saw the upsets and you're kind of excited about them, but having the upset to make it all the way to the finals kind of had a letdown. Butler couldn't make anything. It was boring. It was
18%.
It was the worst championship game I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just ridiculous. I wanted to say great defense. They really both kind of hunkered down and played some good defense. I couldn't even do that because they were just missing layups.
How many layups did Butler miss?
At least 10. I mean, it was ridiculous. They were terrible.
It was really sad because again the tournament was great, but yeah, just not a good performance. I kind of figured UConn would win. I think we talked about it, but it kind of came out the way we thought. But still, it's too bad that wasn't a better player.
Yeah, it was just a terrible win. Just a terrible win. So next topic we want to talk about UConn winning and Jim Calhoun. So, I think this is kind of big for Jim Calhoun. Go from 2 championships to 3. Puts him in an elite crowd with Rupp, Knight, Coach K, John Wooden.
I agree with that.
So I think it's kind of big. I just hope that no negative stuff comes out later about NCAA violations.
Well, it's kind of cranking it up. I mean, I think you hear more kind of buzz. Some of the people that we're talking about sort of what happened with him, they're sort of changing their story. So it's one of those stay tuned. I know he's getting like suspended for 3 games next year or something like that.
Yeah, apparently they're going to put the suspension next year rather than worry about it now. I guess that's cool, when you can do that.
But I think he's definitely the top of the modern coaches. Obviously, Krzyzewski, who's got the 4 titles above everybody. But he's right. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's right up there, and I think he's really proved himself.
Yeah, you got to be impressed with that program. 21 years, that's a long time to be at one.
No doubt.
Obviously, on the flip side, you want to talk about Brad Stevens and Butler. What's your take after the end of that game?
His stock dropped after that game. I mean, he had done such a great job preparing his team, through the tournament, but really the team looked really shaky. And I think if you look at his stock, it fell in that game because they just didn't really play up to their potential. Missed a lot. Again, we're talking about missing a lot of shots. Didn't look all that great. His stock has definitely dropped, and I think he's looking for a bigger program, which he says he wants to stay at Butler, but still.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be the right decision.
He took a hit.
I mean, a lot of those guys were seniors. They were coming back. You kind of get to that point where you look at what's he got coming in the future, and I hope he's got a couple good recruiting classes. Otherwise, he needs to make that jump now, and it doesn't look like he's going to make it quick enough because that NC State job just got filled. Shaka Smart staying at VCU, and there's like maybe a Miami job open. There's just not a lot out there, it doesn't seem like, so he might be kind of too late. And I think he's going to be like the next Gonzaga, where you kind of talk about him every year, but they're still a mid-major, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, but it is two finals in a row is pretty impressive. But
you're kind of on the flip side of that. You look at one of the big stories, Shaka Smart staying at VCU. I think for Shaka, I think that's kind of a smart move for him. I think he was only 2 years into that program. I think stick around, kind of see what happens. The last guy at VCU that left was Capel, and that didn't work out so well for him. So he might have the smart move here, staying, getting the 4 times. I mean, hell, if I could get a job where I get paid 4 times what I got paid the year before, I might take that.
I feel kind of 2 ways about this. I understand. I think he wants to say, yeah, it's great for college athletics because he stayed there, he's building up a small program. But if I look at him personally, this may have been the time to make the jump. VCU, they were definitely playing above their heads in the tournament. Here's your chance to go to that next ACC program. I know NC State got filled. That was what they were talking about.
But he turned that down, right? So that was huge.
But he could have made that next step where you set yourself up. You get better recruits. You get quality guys every year instead of like once every 4 years. But again, on the other side, I feel, hey, it's great. He's supporting this program. He's staying.
I think it's good for Richmond, so we'll see what happens. But number 5, India wins the Cricket World Cup. You called it.
I called it.
You called it. I hate this.
Of course I called it.
Can we stop doing these segments where he calls it right?
And I watched the final on Saturday, and it looked really kind of dim for him. Sri Lanka put up a great fight.
Hey, 275 runs for Sri Lanka was huge. You got Sehwag goes out on the second ball. wow, that was huge. And then Tendulkar went out early too. I thought India was toast.
Was it Maluka and?
Yeah, Malinga was quite a bowler.
Number 99.
Yeah, he was quite a bowler for Sri Lanka. I was pretty impressed.
He's a big hot dog.
The crazy hair, yeah. I mean, and he celebrated like he wouldn't believe. I mean, it was kind of crazy.
All over it.
Oh yeah, but you got to give India a lot of credit. They worked really hard. They went.
Number 5 was this Gautam. Yeah, he was.
You know, IPL's coming out now. India Premier League. I mean, you gotta like that stuff.
We're all over it. So
we'll check back. Yeah, definitely. Number 6. Gosh, is this another topic where you called it, or is it too early to tell? Because the Orioles are 4-0. I know you were talking about them coming out of the AL East.
I was out of Camden Yards yesterday, actually. It was a great time. They're 4-0. They're getting.
That's a hell of a stadium.
They're getting to pitching. Yeah, it was a great time. Sold out. It was a fantastic crowd. They're getting the pitching, but it's early, right? I mean, you got 162 games. I mean, it's just 4 games. But I think Showalter's got them going in the right direction, and I think they really can show something this year. Pitching shows up late in the season, so you got to look at August, September, maybe late July. Where is your pitching at that point? That's going to tell you if you're.
Hey, that's a hell of a start for them, and I think Baltimore is excited to kind of be back in the mix. I think Baltimore's got a good fan base, the O's. And,
it's old school.
Yeah, and it's nice to see them kind of getting some things together so that those fans kind of can talk about it. So I think that's really good for the area.
No, I agree with that.
And then, staying on the baseball topic, number 7, the Red Sox, favorites in a lot of people's minds, 0-3
They're stinking up. But there's no time to hit the panic button. But
are you sure? I was kind of thinking, I'm not the baseball guy, but I was kind of thinking panic time.
Well, everyone was picking to go to the World Series, just hand the trophy now. They're just not really getting the pitching. Their pitching's just not really showing up. Calder Crawford's off to a bad start. He dropped him down. I know that Terry Francona dropped him down the lineup. He's hitting 3rd. He said he's trying too hard. Not really good right at the beginning of the year, but it's a long season. I think everyone just expected him to come out of the gate and just blow doors.
Yeah, I thought they made all these acquisitions. They're ready to go. They're just going to be the barn.
Gonzalez is
going crazy, right?
He's hitting, but not a lot else going on there. They'll turn it around. I mean, they're just got too much talent.
There's no way they're going to just lose every game, right?
Yeah, that's true. 0-162. I don't see it happening.
All right, and number 8. There's a lot of stuff going on. The draft's coming up for the NFL, and there's a lot of talk around Kevin Cobb getting traded from the Eagles. And this is an interesting topic. I kind of put this on the schedule because it kind of reminds me of back when the Browns had Brady Quinn and Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson had that phenomenal year, and they were like, "Nah, we're going to stick with 2 quarterbacks," and that totally blew up on them. You got to trade a guy when he's hot. If they're getting good offers for this Kevin Cobb, I mean, push him out the door. Let's get it on.
Are you sold on Vic?
I'm not sold on Vic.
Vic had 1 good year. I mean, Vic's had a couple good years now. You almost need 2 good quarterbacks in the NFL, especially with Vic the way he ran. He got hurt last year. Hurt his sternum. You're going to need 2 good guys. Why are you going to trade them? I know, hey, we got a number 1 pick. That part I understand. I think you need 2 good quarterbacks.
Has there been an NFL champion, a Super Bowl champion, that's had 2 quarterbacks?
Ever?
I mean, recently, in the last 10 years, can you name one where they had 2 good quarterbacks?
I have to think about that.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's why you got to let him go. You got to get what you can get. You got to get what you can get while it's hot.
The trouble is,
he's a hot item.
Vic is not like a Peyton Manning, stand behind and just sit back there, get well protected, and not get touched. His game, he's gonna get hit.
That's all right.
He's gonna get
clearly hit. Andy Reid can bring anybody in there and get him to be a good quarterback. I mean, it seems like
I don't know about that.
All right, number 9. Just recently announced the 2011 NBA Hall of Fame inductees. I gotta be honest with you, when I hear the NFL inductees come out, I actually know some names. I know like 2 names on this thing. And Arvydas Sabonis, are you kidding me?
He was a good international player. I think by the time he got the trade.
But are they putting him in because of the impact he had for international players, or are they putting him in because he was a great center? Because I just don't think he was a great center. He sat out at the 3-point line, chucked up these heaves from 3-point land all the time. I just thought he was terrible. He only played like 7 seasons.
By the time he got to the NBA, I think he was used up. He had a lot of injuries. He had some Achilles injuries. He had some other things going on. So I think he was at his best when he was actually with the Soviet team.
I just think the NBA should relook at what they're kind of basing their criteria on.
Do you think it's just the door's too open?
I think the door's too open, yeah. Number 10. All right, Alright everybody, so to round out the segment, as usual, we're coming up with another last blast. We're going to try and tag team this one, so we'll see how that goes.
You're pretty fired up about this.
I am fired up about this.
I don't know if I'm going to get a word in.
Well, we'll see what happens. So, I am sick and tired of how long it takes for the NCAA to weigh in on these violations. You've got violations that happen all the time, and the NCAA comes in years later and says, oh yeah, this was an issue.
How about Reggie Bush? That's a great example.
Right where I was going to start was Reggie Bush. You got Reggie Bush. You know, everybody kind of knew there's probably some stuff going on at USC. Reggie Bush comes out, you know, it's a whole issue. 3 years later, they finally say, oh, you got to vacate some wins. You don't win the Heisman. I mean, come on! It takes you that long to figure these things out? You've got, like, Michigan in the early 90s, right, with their basketball team, the Fab Five. When did that come out? Like, not until 2000 something?
Yeah, several years later.
I mean, it's completely ridiculous. You got more recent, you talk about Bruce Pearl, right? So he's at Tennessee, he comes out, you know, there's this whole issue, the NCAA finds out about it, the SEC finally says, hey, you're going to sit 8 games. The NCAA has still not ruled, and the guy got fired.
Right.
I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you got John Calipari. I mean, they find out this thing at Memphis, hello, he's already gone, he went to Kentucky.
The thing that made no sense to me, too, is the Ohio State issue back.
Oh, yeah, you're going to go there?
Well, you know, you find out there's all going on. They say, well, we're not going to suspend you for the bowl game. We'll suspend you next year.
Well, yeah, that's one of my points is inconsistencies.
I mean, what is that about? I mean, if you knew what happened, why don't you suspend for the bowl game?
And does it even matter what they say? I mean, UMass, you talk about John Calipari, UMass still has their Final Four banner hanging in their stadium. Hello, it was vacated.
Well,
why do you still get to hang that banner?
They played the games, right?
So they played the games, yeah. So then you got, I just saw online today, the NCAA president's coming out about how, well, we need to make sure these punishments are tough enough, and because if people are weighing like the risk and reward of violations, then that's probably not the right way. Hello, can you be more timely?
I don't know what's going on.
Just get in there and figure it out. I mean, it's not the punishment that matters, it's the time.
Right.
It's like USC has issues, well, Pete Carroll's gone, he's at the Seahawks. Right. I mean, my biggest peeve with the whole thing is that the coaches somehow never really get punished.
Right. The people who get punished are the program, and the players are still there.
Yeah. I mean, Tennessee's going through all this crap. Lane Kiffin's already at USC. I mean, every time there's coach insinuations, the coach moves on, and it's fine. Except at Ohio State, where Tressel's still there for who knows how long.
He's there for now.
He's there for now.
Right. There needs to be more accountability from the NCAA, and I think they need to hold the people accountable that actually did the infractions, not punish people who sort of like this, you know, collateral damage type thing.
I mean, they're all upset about this Fiesta Bowl now. I mean, when did that stuff occur? I mean, was it just last year, or was it a couple of years ago? Let's get more timely, people.
I agree. I think that's a great.
They're making all that money. They can pay some people to do some investigation.
That's probably the problem. They're making all the money. That's probably something.
All right. You want to wrap it up?
No, great show this week. I think maybe he's gonna calm down.
I know. I'm gonna another beer after this.
But no, it's a great show. Hey, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll do another Dropbox here in the next couple of weeks, answer your questions. We're already getting some, so we're storing those up, and we'll answer those questions going forward. But again, thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right, Hodge and Podge.
All right.